Hello and welcome to the Sleepy Yesteryear Archive. Tonight, we drift slowly through ancient technology, lost engineering of forgotten empires, a 3-hour journey for sleep. There are no adverts, no music stings, just calm narration to carry you toward rest. Settle in, dim your lights, close your eyes, and let history take you into deep sleep. It's a warm summer morning in the year 100 AD, and Marcus is standing on the outskirts of Rome, gazing out at the vast network of aqueducts that stretch towards the horizon. He can see the gentle arches of the aqueducts, their stone surfaces worn smooth by the constant flow of water, and the way the morning light casts a golden glow over the entire scene. As he breathes in, he can smell the damp earth and the faint scent of fresh water carried on the breeze from the nearby Tiber River. Marcus is a young engineer tasked with maintaining the aqueducts that supply water to the city, and he takes great pride in his work. He knows that the aqueducts are a marvel of Roman technology, and that they've revolutionized the way people live and work in the city. As he walks along the aqueduct, Marcus notices the way the water flows smoothly through the channels, carried by the gentle slope of the structure. He can hear the soft gurgle of the water and the creaking of the wooden beams that support the aqueduct's arches. The air is filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the sound of birds singing in the nearby trees. Marcus feels a sense of wonder at the ingenuity of the Roman engineers who built this system, and he's grateful to be a part of it. He knows that the aqueducts are just one example of the many technological advancements that have made Rome the greatest city in the world. As he continues his inspection, Marcus comes across a group of workers who are repairing a section of the aqueduct. They're using a combination of stone, brick, and concrete to patch up a crack in the channel, and Marcus watches with interest as they work. He can see the way the materials are carefully selected and placed, and the way the workers use their tools to shape and smooth the surface. The sound of chiseling and hammering fills the air, and the smell of freshly cut stone wafts up from the worksite. Marcus is impressed by the skill and attention to detail of the workers, and he knows that their work is essential to keeping the aqueducts running smoothly. The Roman Empire's technological advancements didn't happen overnight, of course. Marcus knows that it's taken centuries of innovation and experimentation to develop the sophisticated systems that support the city. He's heard stories of the early Roman engineers who developed new techniques for building roads, bridges, and canals. He's also heard about the way the Romans adopted and improved upon technologies from other cultures, such as the arch and the vault. As he walks along the aqueduct, Marcus feels a sense of connection to the long line of engineers and innovators who have come before him. As the day wears on, Marcus makes his way back to the city, lost in thought. He's thinking about the way the aqueducts have changed the way people live in Rome, and the impact that they've had on the city's growth and development. He's also thinking about the other technological advancements that have made Rome the greatest city in the world, from the concrete that's used to build the roads and buildings, to the sophisticated systems of governance and administration that keep the city running smoothly. Marcus knows that there's still much to be learned, and that the Romans will continue to innovate and push the boundaries of what's possible. The sun is beginning to set, casting a golden glow over the city. Marcus finds a spot to sit and watch the stars come out, feeling grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this vibrant and dynamic society. He knows that the Roman Empire's technological advancements have created a better life for its citizens, and he's proud to be a part of it. As he sits there, he can hear the sound of the aqueducts in the distance, a gentle reminder of the incredible feats of engineering that have made Rome the greatest city in the world. The sound is soothing, and Marcus feels his eyelids growing heavy as he listens. He's tired but content, knowing that he's done his part to keep the city running smoothly. And as he drifts off to sleep, he's surrounded by the gentle sounds of the aqueducts and the knowledge that he's part of something much bigger than himself. Marcus's eyes slowly open, and he's greeted by the warm sunlight streaming through the window of his small apartment, the sound of the aqueducts still echoing in his mind. He lives near the Great Claudian Aqueduct, one of the many engineering marvels that have made Rome the greatest city in the world. As he gets out of bed, he notices the intricate stone carvings on the walls, the result of skilled labor and clever use of arches, vaults, and domes in construction. The Romans have perfected this technique, and it's evident in the buildings, bridges, and roads that crisscross the empire. Marcus wonders how they managed to create such structures with their complex systems of arches and vaults, and he makes a mental note to visit the construction site of the new temple being built in the city. As he walks through the streets, Marcus sees the evidence of Roman engineering everywhere. The roads are straight and well paved, the bridges are sturdy and reliable, and the buildings are impressive and beautiful. He passes by the Pantheon, with its massive dome that seems to defy gravity, and he can't help but feel a sense of pride and wonder at the achievements of his people. The use of arches, vaults, and domes has allowed the Romans to build structures that are not only functional, but also aesthetically pleasing. Marcus notices the way the light filters through the arches, casting intricate shadows on the ground, and he feels a sense of peace wash over him. Marcus decides to visit his friend, Lucius, who is a skilled engineer and architect. Lucius is working on a new project, designing a system of sewers and drains for the city. Marcus is fascinated by the complexity of the system and the way it will improve the health and sanitation of the city. Lucius explains to him the principles of gravity and flow that govern the movement of water, and how the Romans have developed a sophisticated system of pipes and canals to bring fresh water to the city and remove waste. As they walk through the tunnels, Marcus is struck by the smell of damp earth and the sound of dripping water, and he feels a sense of awe at the ingenuity of the Roman engineers. As they talk, Marcus realizes that the development of Roman technology has been a gradual process, with each generation building on the discoveries and innovations of the previous one. The Romans have borrowed ideas from other cultures, such as the Egyptians and the Greeks, and have adapted them to their own needs and circumstances. They have also made significant contributions of their own, such as the development of concrete, a strong and versatile building material that has revolutionized construction. Marcus sees the concrete being mixed and applied, and he notices the way it hardens into a solid, durable surface. Marcus and Lucius walk to the Forum Romanum, the heart of the city, where they see the impressive basilicas, temples, and markets. The architecture is a testament to the advanced engineering skills of the Romans, with their use of arches, vaults, and domes creating a sense of space and grandeur. Marcus notices the way the light reflects off the marble surfaces, and he feels a sense of wonder at the beauty of the city. As they walk, Lucius points out the different types of buildings and explains their functions, from the temples where the Romans worship their gods to the basilicas where they conduct their business and governance. As the day wears on, Marcus and Lucius come to the Colosseum, the largest amphitheater in the empire. The sheer scale of the structure is awe-inspiring, with its 4 levels of arches and vaults supporting a massive dome. Marcus is amazed by the complexity of the design and the engineering skills that have gone into its construction. He notices the way the arches are arranged and the way the vaults provide support for the massive weight of the structure. Lucius explains to him the principles of statics and dynamics that govern the behavior of the structure, and how the Romans have used their knowledge of mathematics and physics to create a building that is both beautiful and functional. As the sun begins to set, Marcus and Lucius find a quiet spot to sit and watch the stars come out. They talk about the impact of Roman technology on the empire, from the construction of roads and bridges to the development of aqueducts and sewers. Marcus realizes that the technological advancements of the Romans have had a profound effect on the daily lives of the people, from the provision of clean water and sanitation to the creation of public buildings and spaces. He feels a sense of pride and gratitude for the engineers and architects who have made these advancements possible, and he knows that he is part of a long tradition of innovation and progress. As the night wears on, Marcus says goodbye to Lucius and heads back to his apartment, feeling tired but content. He reflects on the wonders of Roman technology and the way it has improved the lives of the people. He thinks about the aqueducts, the roads, and the buildings, and he feels a sense of awe at the ingenuity and skill of the Roman engineers. As he drifts off to sleep, he is surrounded by the gentle sounds of the city, and he knows that he is part of something much bigger than himself. The sound of the aqueducts is still echoing in his mind, a reminder of the incredible achievements of the Roman people. It's a warm summer evening in the year 100 AD, and Marcus is standing on the banks of the Anio River, watching as the sun sets over the Roman countryside. He's a young engineer, and he's been working on the construction of a new aqueduct that will bring fresh water from the mountains to the city of Rome. As he looks out at the river, he can see the beginnings of the aqueduct, a series of stone arches that stretch across the valley, carrying a channel of water that will eventually supply the entire city. Marcus feels a sense of pride and wonder as he thinks about the incredible feat of engineering that this aqueduct represents, and he can't help but think about the impact it will have on the people of Rome. As he walks along the riverbank, Marcus notices the sound of the water flowing through the aqueduct, a gentle gurgling that seems to grow louder as he approaches the nearest arch. He reaches out and touches the stone, feeling the coolness of the water as it flows through the channel, and he can't help but think about the thousands of people who will benefit from this new source of fresh water. The Romans have always been skilled engineers, but this aqueduct is something special, a testament to their ingenuity and determination. Marcus remembers the stories his grandfather used to tell him about the early days of Rome, when the city was just a small village and the people had to rely on wells and springs for their water. It's hard to believe how far they've come, and Marcus feels grateful to be a part of it. As the sun dips below the horizon, Marcus makes his way back to the city, his mind filled with thoughts of the aqueduct and the impact it will have on the people of Rome. He walks through the streets, taking in the sights and sounds of the bustling city, and he can't help but feel a sense of pride and belonging. The Romans have always been a practical people, and their engineering feats are a testament to their ability to solve problems and overcome challenges. Marcus thinks about the other projects he's worked on, the roads and bridges and buildings that have helped to make Rome the great city it is today. And he thinks about the people, the thousands of workers who have labored to build these structures, and the countless citizens who will benefit from them. As he walks, Marcus notices the way the light falls on the buildings, casting long shadows across the streets. He sees the people going about their daily business, the merchants and traders, the artisans and craftsmen. He hears the sound of hammers ringing out from the workshops, and the smell of fresh bread wafting from the ovens. It's a vibrant, living city, and Marcus feels grateful to be a part of it. He thinks about the aqueduct and how it will help to make the city an even better place to live. He thinks about the water flowing through the channels, quenching the thirst of the people and washing away the dirt and grime of the city streets. The streets are crowded, but Marcus knows them well, and he navigates them with ease. He passes by the forum, where the citizens are gathered to discuss the issues of the day. He sees the temples dedicated to the gods and the basilicas, where the people come to worship. He hears the sound of laughter and conversation, and the clinking of cups and glasses from the taverns. It's a city that's full of life, and Marcus feels like he's at the heart of it all. As the night wears on, Marcus finds himself at the edge of the city, looking out over the countryside. He can see the aqueduct stretching out into the distance, a series of stone arches that seem to glow in the moonlight. He thinks about the journey the water takes, from the mountains to the city, and all the people who will benefit from it. He feels a sense of peace, knowing that he's played a part in making it happen. And as he stands there, looking out at the aqueduct, Marcus knows that he's exactly where he's meant to be. The sound of the water flowing through the aqueduct is like music to his ears, a gentle melody that seems to match the beating of his heart. He closes his eyes and lets the sound wash over him, feeling the coolness of the water and the warmth of the summer evening. It's a moment of perfect peace, and Marcus knows that he'll carry it with him for the rest of his life. As he stands there, he feels the weight of his responsibilities, the knowledge that he's part of something much bigger than himself. But he also feels a sense of freedom, the freedom to create, to build, and to make a difference in the world. As the night wears on, Marcus makes his way back to his home, his mind filled with thoughts of the aqueduct and the city and the people. He knows that he's just one person, but he also knows that he's part of a larger community, a community that's working together to build something truly remarkable. And as he drifts off to sleep, surrounded by the sounds of the city, Marcus feels a sense of pride and a sense of wonder, knowing that he's living in a time of great change and great achievement. The sound of the aqueduct is still echoing in his mind, a reminder of the incredible feats of engineering that the Romans have accomplished and the incredible impact they will have on the world. And as he falls asleep, Marcus smiles, knowing that he's part of something that will last for centuries to come. It's a chilly winter morning in 100 AD, and Marcus is standing outside his family's workshop in Rome, watching as the sun rises over the bustling city. He's a young engineer, and today he's supposed to meet with his father to discuss a new project a large public bathhouse that the city officials have commissioned. As he waits for his father to arrive, Marcus takes a deep breath, feeling the cold air fill his lungs, and looks around at the half-finished buildings and roads that seem to be sprouting up all over the city. The sound of hammers ringing out against stone and the smell of freshly cut wood fill the air, and Marcus can't help but feel a sense of excitement and pride. This is a time of great change and growth in Rome, and he's lucky to be a part of it. As he walks into the workshop, Marcus sees his father, Lucius, already seated at a large wooden table, poring over a set of drawings and notes. Lucius is a master engineer, and Marcus has learned everything he knows from him. The two of them sit down together, and Lucius begins to explain the plans for the new bathhouse. It's going to be a huge project, with multiple rooms, a large pool, and a complex system of pipes and ducts to provide hot water and heat. Marcus listens intently, asking questions and making notes as they discuss the details of the project. One of the key challenges they'll face is finding a way to build the large domed roof that the city officials have requested. The Romans have been using arches and vaults in their buildings for years, but a dome is a much more complex structure, and it will require some innovative engineering solutions. Lucius mentions that he's been experimenting with a new type of concrete called opus cementitium that he thinks might be strong enough to support the weight of the dome. Marcus is intrigued. He's heard of this new concrete before, but he's never seen it used in a project of this scale. As they continue to discuss the project, Marcus starts to think about the history of Roman engineering and construction. He knows that the Romans have been building roads, bridges, and buildings for centuries, but he's not sure how they developed the techniques and materials they use today. He asks his father about it, and Lucius launches into a story about the early days of Roman engineering and how the Romans learned to build by studying the techniques of the Greeks and the Etruscans. Marcus listens, fascinated, as his father explains how the Romans developed their own unique style of building, using arches, vaults, and domes to create structures that were both beautiful and functional. As the morning wears on, Marcus and his father continue to work on the plans for the bathhouse, discussing everything from the type of stone they'll use for the foundation to the system of pipes they'll need to install to provide hot water. It's a complex project, but Marcus is confident that they can pull it off after all. The Romans are famous for their engineering skills, and he's learned from the best. As they take a break for lunch, Marcus can't help but feel a sense of pride and excitement. He's part of a long tradition of Roman engineers and builders, and he's eager to see what the future holds. The Roman concrete, opus cementitium, is a key component of the bathhouse project. Marcus's father, Lucius, has been experimenting with this new type of concrete, and he's convinced that it's the key to building the large domed roof. Marcus is curious about how this concrete is made and what makes it so strong. He asks his father to explain, and Lucius tells him that opus cementitium is made from a mixture of lime, water, and volcanic ash. The combination of these ingredients creates a strong and durable concrete that can support heavy weights and withstand the elements. As they continue to work on the project, Marcus learns more about the history of Roman concrete. He discovers that the Romans developed opus cementitium by studying the properties of natural cement, which they found in the volcanic regions of Italy. They experimented with different combinations of ingredients, eventually coming up with a formula that produced a strong, and durable concrete. Marcus is fascinated by the process of discovery and innovation that led to the development of opus caementicium, and he's eager to learn more about the other techniques and materials that the Romans use in their building projects. As the day draws to a close, Marcus and his father have made significant progress on the plans for the bathhouse. They've discussed the design, the materials, and the engineering challenges that they'll face. Marcus feels a sense of accomplishment and pride. He's learned a lot about Roman engineering and construction, and he's excited to see the project come to life. As he leaves the workshop and heads home, Marcus can't help but wonder what other innovative solutions the Romans will come up with in the future. He knows that he's part of a long tradition of engineers and builders, and he's eager to contribute to the next chapter in the story of Roman engineering and construction. The development of opus caementicium is just one example of the innovative solutions that the Romans have come up with in their building projects. Marcus is curious about the other techniques and materials that the Romans use, and he's eager to learn more. He asks his father about the construction of roads, bridges, and buildings, and Lucius explains the different methods that the Romans used to build these structures. Marcus learns about the importance of surveying and planning, and how the Romans use instruments like the groma to ensure that their buildings are level and plumb. As Marcus continues to learn about Roman engineering and construction, he begins to appreciate the complexity and sophistication of the systems that the Romans have developed. He realizes that the Romans are not just building structures, they are creating entire systems that provide for the needs of their citizens. From the aqueducts that bring fresh water to the city, to the sewers that carry away waste, the Romans have developed a comprehensive approach to building and engineering that is unparalleled in the ancient world. Marcus feels a sense of awe and respect for the engineers and builders who have come before him, and he's eager to contribute to the next generation of innovative solutions. The story of Roman engineering and construction is a long and complex one, full of twists and turns. Marcus is just beginning to learn about the history and techniques of the Romans, but he's already fascinated by the stories of innovation and discovery that he's heard. As he drifts off to sleep that night, Marcus can't help but wonder what other secrets the Romans have uncovered in their quest to build and create. He knows that he'll learn more about it tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that, and he's excited to see where the journey will take him. As the night wears on, Marcus's thoughts turn to the bathhouse project and the challenges that they'll face in the coming weeks. He knows that it won't be easy. Building a large domed roof is a complex task, and there will be many obstacles to overcome. But Marcus is confident that he and his father can do it. After all, they are Romans, and the Romans are famous for their engineering skills. With a sense of calm and determination, Marcus falls asleep, ready to face the challenges of the next day. The darkness of the night surrounds Marcus, and the sound of crickets provides a soothing background noise. The stars are shining brightly in the sky, and the world is at peace. Marcus's breathing slows down, and he becomes one with the darkness, his mind filled with thoughts of Roman engineering and construction. The story of the Romans is a long and complex one, but Marcus is just beginning to learn about it. As he sleeps, he's surrounded by the sounds of Marcus's thoughts are drifting to the Roman engineers who built the roads that stretched across their vast empire, roads that were built to last, with some still in use today. He imagines himself standing on one of those roads, feeling the rough stone beneath his feet, and wondering how they managed to construct something so durable. The Romans developed a sophisticated system of road construction, using a combination of stone, gravel, and concrete to create a strong and stable surface. As Marcus walks along the road, he notices the way the stones fit together, the way the gravel provides drainage, and the way the concrete holds everything in place. As he continues on his journey, Marcus comes across a group of Roman engineers, led by a man named Appius Claudius. Appius is overseeing the construction of a new road, one that will connect the city of Rome to the port of Ostia. Marcus watches as the engineers carefully plan and execute the construction, using their knowledge of mathematics and physics to ensure that the road is built to last. They use a technique called stratum, where they lay down a layer of large stones, followed by a layer of smaller stones, and finally a layer of concrete. The result is a road that is strong, durable, and able to withstand the heavy traffic of merchants and traders. Marcus is fascinated by the attention to detail that the Roman engineers bring to their work. They are meticulous in their measurements, careful in their calculations, and thorough in their testing. They use a variety of tools, including the groma, a surveying instrument that allows them to measure the alignment of the road, and the decempeda, a measuring rod that helps them calculate the distance between landmarks. As Marcus observes the engineers at work, he begins to appreciate the complexity and sophistication of their craft. As the days pass, Marcus finds himself drawn into the world of Roman engineering and construction. He meets other engineers, each with their own specialty and expertise. There's Vitruvius, who writes about the importance of architecture and design in his book De Architectura. There's Frontinus, who serves as the curator of the aqueducts, responsible for ensuring that the water supply system of Rome is functioning properly. And there's Julius Caesar, who recognizes the importance of infrastructure in building and maintaining a strong and stable empire. As Marcus learns more about the Romans and their engineering feats, he begins to appreciate the scale and scope of their accomplishments. They built roads that stretched for thousands of miles, bridges that spanned wide rivers, and buildings that seemed to touch the sky. They developed a system of concrete that was stronger and more durable than anything that had come before, using a combination of lime, water, and volcanic ash to create a binding agent that held their structures together. And they designed and built aqueducts that brought fresh water from distant sources to the heart of the city, using gravity and engineering to create a system that was both efficient and effective. As the night wears on, Marcus's thoughts turn to the construction of the Pantheon, a magnificent temple built in the heart of Rome. He imagines the sound of hammers ringing out against the stone, the smell of freshly cut marble, and the sight of the dome rising higher and higher into the air. The Pantheon is a masterpiece of Roman engineering, a building that seems to defy gravity and push the boundaries of what is possible. Its dome is a marvel of construction, a perfect hemisphere of interlocking stones that seems to float above the floor. And its oculus, a large opening at the top of the dome, allows a beam of light to shine down into the interior, illuminating the space and creating a sense of wonder and awe. As Marcus drifts off to sleep, he is surrounded by the sounds of the city, the distant rumble of carts and chariots, the chatter of pedestrians, and the occasional bark of a dog. The stars are shining brightly above, and the world is at peace. Marcus's breathing slows down, and he becomes one with the darkness, his mind filled with thoughts of Roman engineering and construction. He knows that he will return to this world again, to explore more of its wonders, and to learn more about the people who built it. And as he sleeps, he is filled with a sense of wonder and curiosity, a sense that there is always more to discover, more to learn, and more to explore. The Romans were masters of construction, and their buildings and roads have stood the test of time. They developed a system of engineering that was based on observation, experimentation, and innovation. And they used this system to create structures that were both beautiful and functional. As Marcus sleeps, he is surrounded by the legacy of the Romans, a legacy that continues to inspire and awe people to this day. The Romans may be gone, but their buildings and roads remain, a testament to their ingenuity and their skill. As the night wears on, Marcus's dreams become more vivid, more realistic. He finds himself standing in the middle of a bustling Roman marketplace, surrounded by people dressed in togas and sandals. He sees the stalls selling fresh produce, the smell of bread and olives filling the air. He hears the sound of hammers ringing out against the stone, the clang of metal on metal. And he feels the sun beating down on his skin, the warmth of the Italian sun. It's as if he has been transported back in time, back to the days of the Roman Empire. As Marcus explores the marketplace, he comes across a group of engineers huddled together in a corner, discussing their latest project. They are building a new bridge, one that will span the width of the Tiber River, and they are using a new technique, one that involves the use of arches and vaults. Marcus watches as they work, fascinated by their skill and their precision. He sees the way they use the arches to distribute the weight of the bridge, the way they use the vaults to create a sense of space and grandeur. And he is amazed by the scale of the project, the sheer size and complexity of the bridge. As the dream fades, Marcus finds himself back in his own bed, surrounded by the darkness of the night. He is filled with a sense of wonder and awe, a sense of appreciation for the Romans and their engineering feats. He knows that he will never forget this experience, this journey into the world of Roman engineering and construction. And as he drifts off to sleep, he is filled with a sense of peace, a sense of contentment, knowing that he has learned something new, something valuable, something that will stay with him for the rest of his life. The story of the Romans is a long and complex one, full of twists and turns, full of triumphs and tragedies. But as Marcus sleeps, he is filled with a sense of calm, a sense of tranquility, knowing that he has only just begun to scratch the surface of this fascinating topic. He knows that there is more to learn, more to discover, and he is eager to continue his journey, to explore more of the wonders of the Roman world. And as he sleeps, he is surrounded by the sounds of the night, the crickets chirping, the wind rustling through the trees, and the stars shining brightly above. As the night wears on, our young explorer's thoughts turn to the incredible feats of engineering and construction that the Romans achieved, and he finds himself wondering about the people who designed and built these marvels. He thinks about the Roman engineers who worked tirelessly to develop new techniques and materials, like the concrete that was used to build so many of their structures. This concrete, made from a mixture of lime, water, and volcanic ash, was a game changer for the Romans, allowing them to build stronger and more durable buildings than ever before. One of the most famous examples of Roman engineering is the Pont du Gard, a bridge that still stands today in southern France. Our young explorer imagines the engineers who designed this bridge, carefully planning and calculating the arches and vaults that would support the weight of the water and the traffic that would cross it. He pictures the workers who built the bridge, laboring in the hot sun to lay the stones and mix the concrete. And he thinks about the people who used the bridge, traveling from one place to another, relying on the strength and stability of the structure to carry them safely across the river. As he drifts off to sleep, our young explorer's mind is filled with images of Roman roads, stretching out across the countryside, connecting cities and towns, and facilitating trade and commerce. He thinks about the Roman buildings that still stand today, like the Pantheon and the Colosseum, and he wonders about the people who built them and the people who used them. He thinks about the ways in which the Romans used engineering and construction to improve their daily lives, from the aqueducts that brought fresh water to their cities, to the sewers that carried away waste and garbage. The Romans were skilled engineers, and their constructions have stood the test of time, a testament to their ingenuity and skill. Our young explorer's thoughts are filled with a sense of awe and wonder at the achievements of the Romans, and he feels grateful to have had the opportunity to learn about them. As he sleeps, he is surrounded by the sounds of the night, the crickets chirping, the wind rustling through the trees, and the stars shining brightly above. The development of Roman engineering and construction techniques was a gradual process spanning many centuries. It began with the early Romans, who were influenced by the engineering and construction techniques of the Etruscans and the Greeks. Over time, the Romans developed their own unique techniques and materials, like the concrete that they used to build so many of their structures. They also developed new tools and machines, like the water wheel and the crane, which allowed them to build bigger and more complex structures. As the Romans expanded their empire, they built roads, bridges, and buildings all across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. They built aqueducts to bring fresh water to their cities, and sewers to carry away waste and garbage. They built public buildings like temples, theaters, and markets, and they built private homes like villas and apartments. And they built monuments like the Pont du Gard that would last for centuries and be remembered as testaments to their engineering and construction skills. The Romans were skilled architects, and their buildings were designed to be functional as well as beautiful. They used a variety of materials, including stone, brick, and concrete, to build their structures. They developed new techniques, like the arch and the vault, which allowed them to build bigger and more complex buildings. And they used decoration, like carvings and mosaics, to add beauty and elegance to their buildings. As our young explorer sleeps, he is dreaming of the Roman world, a world of engineering and construction marvels. He is dreaming of the people who built these structures and the people who used them. He is dreaming of the roads, the bridges, and the buildings that the Romans built, and he is wondering about the ways in which these structures were used. and the ways in which they improved the daily lives of the people who lived in the Roman world. The Roman engineers and architects were true pioneers, and their work had a lasting impact on the development of engineering and construction techniques. They developed new materials like concrete and new tools like the water wheel and the crane. They developed new techniques like the arch and the vault, which allowed them to build bigger and more complex structures. And they used their skills and knowledge to build structures that would last for centuries and be remembered as testaments to their engineering and construction skills. As the night wears on, our young explorer's dreams are filled with images of the Roman world, a world of engineering and construction marvels. He is dreaming of the people who built these structures and the people who used them. He is dreaming of the roads, the bridges, and the buildings that the Romans built, and he is wondering about the ways in which these structures were used, and the ways in which they improved the daily lives of the people who lived in the Roman world. And as he sleeps, he is surrounded by the sounds of the night, the crickets chirping, the wind rustling through the trees, and the stars shining brightly above. The Roman world was a world of wonder and discovery, a world where engineers and architects were pushing the boundaries of what was possible. They were building structures that would last for centuries, and they were developing new techniques and materials that would have a lasting impact on the development of engineering and construction. And as our young explorer sleeps, he is dreaming of this world, a world of engineering and construction marvels, and he is feeling grateful to have had the opportunity to learn about it. As the first light of dawn begins to creep into the sky, our young explorer's dreams are slowly fading away, and he is drifting off into a deep and peaceful sleep. The sounds of the night are still surrounding him, the crickets chirping, the wind rustling through the trees, and the stars shining brightly above. And as he sleeps, he is feeling calm and relaxed, his mind filled with thoughts of the Roman world and the incredible feats of engineering and construction that the Romans achieved. The Romans may be gone, but their legacy lives on, a testament to their ingenuity and skill, and a reminder of the incredible things that can be achieved when people work together to build something new. It's a warm summer morning in Rome, and the sun is casting a golden light over the city. The year is 100 BC, and the air is filled with the sound of hammering and chiseling as workers labor to build a new temple in honor of the god Jupiter. Marcus, a young apprentice to the architect, is overseeing the construction of the temple's facade, making sure that the columns are perfectly aligned and the stone is cut to precision. As he works, he can't help but feel a sense of pride and wonder at the sheer scale and beauty of the project. The temple is being built using a new type of architecture that the Romans have developed, one that incorporates arches, vaults, and domes to create a sense of grandeur and majesty. As Marcus steps back to admire the work, he notices the intricate carvings on the columns, the delicate patterns of leaves and flowers that seem to dance across the stone. The carvings are the work of a team of skilled artisans who have spent years perfecting their craft. Marcus watches as one of the artisans, an old man with a kind face and skilled hands, carefully chisels a small detail into the stone. The old man looks up and catches Marcus's eye, smiling as he works. Marcus smiles back, feeling a sense of connection to the old man and to the long tradition of Roman architecture that they are both a part of. The temple is being built using a style of architecture that the Romans call the Roman orders. This style is characterized by the use of different types of columns, each with its own unique proportions and ornamentation. The columns are topped with intricate carvings and moldings, which add to the overall sense of grandeur and beauty of the building. As Marcus looks around, he sees that the temple is just one of many buildings in Rome that are being constructed using this style. There are basilicas, amphitheaters, and markets, all of which are being built using the same principles of architecture. One of the key features of Roman architecture is the use of arches and vaults. These allow the builders to create large, open spaces without the need for columns or other supports. The arches are made up of wedge-shaped blocks of stone, which are carefully cut and fitted together to form a curve. The vaults are made up of a series of arches that are placed side by side, creating a sense of continuity and flow. As Marcus walks through the temple, he notices the way that the arches and vaults seem to stretch up to the sky, creating a sense of lightness and airiness that is quite different from the heavy, solid feel of the columns. The Romans have developed a number of different types of buildings, each with its own unique characteristics and functions. There are temples like the one that Marcus is working on, which are built to honor the gods and to provide a space for worship and sacrifice. There are also basilicas, which are large, public buildings that are used for a variety of purposes, including law courts, markets, and meeting halls. And then there are the amphitheaters, which are massive, circular buildings that are used for gladiatorial contests, animal hunts, and other public spectacles. As Marcus continues to work on the temple, he can't help but feel a sense of excitement and wonder at the sheer scale and complexity of the project. The temple is just one part of a much larger landscape of buildings and monuments that are being constructed in Rome, and Marcus feels proud to be a part of it. He knows that the temple will be a place of beauty and worship for generations to come, and he feels grateful to be able to contribute to its creation. As the sun begins to set, casting a golden glow over the city, Marcus steps back to admire the work that has been done so far. The temple is beginning to take shape, and Marcus can see the beauty and majesty of the Roman architecture that is being used to build it. The use of arches, vaults, and domes in Roman architecture allows for the creation of large, open spaces that are filled with light and air. The arches and vaults are made up of wedge-shaped blocks of stone, which are carefully cut and fitted together to form a curve. The domes are made up of a series of arches that are placed side by side, creating a sense of continuity and flow. As Marcus looks around, he sees that the temple is just one example of the many buildings in Rome that are being constructed using this style of architecture. As the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into months, the temple begins to take shape. The columns are erected, the arches and vaults are built, and the dome is constructed. The temple is a beautiful and majestic building, one that is filled with light and air. The use of arches, vaults, and domes creates a sense of grandeur and majesty, and the intricate carvings and moldings add to the overall sense of beauty and wonder. As Marcus steps back to admire the finished temple, he can't help but feel a sense of pride and satisfaction. The temple is a testament to the skill and craftsmanship of the Roman architects and builders, and it will be a place of beauty and worship for generations to come. The Roman orders, which are the basis of Roman architecture, are a set of rules and guidelines that govern the design and construction of buildings. The orders are based on the use of different types of columns, each with its own unique proportions and ornamentation. The columns are topped with intricate carvings and moldings, which add to the overall sense of grandeur and beauty of the building. As Marcus looks around, he sees that the temple is just one example of the many buildings in Rome that are being constructed using this style of architecture. As the years pass, the temple becomes a beloved landmark in Rome, a place of beauty and worship that is cherished by the people. The use of arches, vaults, and domes in Roman architecture has created a sense of grandeur and majesty, and the intricate carvings and moldings have added to the overall sense of beauty and wonder. The temple is a testament to the skill and craftsmanship of the Roman architects and builders, and it will be a place of beauty and worship for generations to come. As the sun sets over the city, casting a golden glow over the temple, Marcus can't help but feel a sense of peace and contentment. The temple is a reminder of the beauty and majesty of Roman architecture, and it will continue to inspire and awe people for generations to come. The development of Roman architecture has been a long and gradual process, one that has been shaped by the needs and desires of the people. The use of arches, vaults, and domes has allowed for the creation of large, open spaces that are filled with light and air. The Roman orders have provided a set of rules and guidelines that govern the design and construction of buildings, and the intricate carvings and moldings have added to the overall sense of grandeur and beauty of the buildings. As Marcus looks around, he sees that the temple is just one example of the many buildings in Rome that are being constructed using this style of architecture. As the night falls and the stars begin to twinkle in the sky, Marcus can't help but feel a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty and majesty of the temple. The use of arches, vaults, and domes has created a sense of grandeur and majesty, and the intricate carvings and moldings have added to the overall sense of beauty and wonder. The temple is a testament to the skill and craftsmanship of the Roman architects and builders, and it will be a place of beauty and worship for generations to come. As Marcus drifts off to sleep, he is filled with a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that as Marcus lies there, the sound of the temple's fountain gently bubbling in the distance, he begins to think about the other buildings that have been constructed in the city, each one a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the Roman architects. The temples, with their soaring columns and intricate carvings, are just one example of the many different types of buildings that have been designed and built, and Marcus wonders what other structures the city might hold. He thinks about the basilicas, those large, imposing buildings that serve as the center of public life, where people gather to conduct business, attend trials, and socialize with one another. The basilicas are a far cry from the temples, with their more subdued atmosphere and functional design, and Marcus is fascinated by the way the architects have been able to create such different spaces, each one tailored to its specific purpose. As he drifts off into a gentle reverie, Marcus finds himself standing in front of a large, stone building, its facade adorned with intricate carvings and moldings. The building is a basilica, and Marcus can see people milling about inside, going about their daily business. He watches as a group of merchants haggle over the price of goods, their voices rising and falling in a soothing cadence. Nearby, a group of lawyers are gathered, discussing a case and gesturing animatedly as they try to make their points. The atmosphere is lively but not overwhelming, and Marcus feels a sense of comfort and familiarity as he watches the scene unfold. As he continues to observe the basilica, Marcus notices the way the light pours in through the large windows, illuminating the space and casting a warm glow over everything. The architects have designed the building to take advantage of the natural light, and the result is a space that feels open and airy, despite its large size. Marcus is impressed by the attention to detail that has gone into the design of the basilica, and he can see why it is such an important part of the city's public life. He thinks about the way the building has been constructed, with its sturdy stone walls and vaulted ceiling, and he is struck by the sense of solidity and permanence that it conveys. As the day wears on, Marcus finds himself thinking about the other types of buildings that are found in the city, each one with its own unique character and purpose. He thinks about the amphitheaters, those large, circular structures that are used for public entertainment, such as gladiatorial contests and theatrical performances. The amphitheaters are a far cry from the basilicas, with their more subdued atmosphere and functional design, and Marcus is fascinated by the way the architects have been able to create such different spaces, each one tailored to its specific purpose. He imagines the sound of the crowd cheering and chanting as they watch a performance, and he can feel the excitement and energy that fills the air. As he continues to explore the city, Marcus comes across a group of workers who are constructing a new building, their hammers and chisels ringing out as they work. The building is a temple, and Marcus can see the intricate carvings and moldings that are being added to the facade. The workers are skilled craftsmen, and Marcus is impressed by the attention to detail that they are bringing to the project. He watches as they carefully shape and fit the stones together, creating a structure that is both beautiful and functional. The temple is being built to honor one of the Roman gods, and Marcus can sense the reverence and respect that the workers have for the project. As the sun begins to set, Marcus finds himself thinking about the way the city's buildings seem to come alive in the fading light. The temples, basilicas, and amphitheaters all take on a warm, golden glow, as if they are infused with a sense of inner radiance. The atmosphere is peaceful and serene, and Marcus feels a sense of contentment wash over him as he takes in the sights and sounds of the city. He thinks about the way the buildings seem to be a part of the city's fabric, each one connected to the others in a complex web of relationships and meanings. The city is a living, breathing entity, and Marcus can feel its pulse beating slowly and steadily as he drifts off into a gentle sleep. As he sleeps, Marcus is filled with a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty and complexity of the city's architecture. He dreams of temples and basilicas, of amphitheaters and markets, each one a unique and fascinating part of the city's rich tapestry. The buildings seem to come alive in his dreams, their stones and columns glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Marcus feels as though he is floating through the city, taking in the sights and sounds of the different buildings and spaces. He is filled with a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he is a part of this vibrant and thriving community. The city's architecture is a testament to the skill and craftsmanship of the Roman builders, and Marcus is grateful to have had the opportunity to experience it firsthand. As he sleeps, he is surrounded by the gentle sounds of the city, the distant rumble of the fountain, and the soft murmur of the wind through the trees. The atmosphere is peaceful and serene, and Marcus feels a sense of calm and tranquility wash over him as he drifts deeper into sleep. The city's buildings seem to be a part of him, their stones and columns infused with a sense of warmth and familiarity. Marcus is at home in the city, and he knows that he will always be drawn to its beauty and complexity. As the night wears on, Marcus's sleep becomes deeper and more restful, his dreams filled with visions of the city's architecture. He sees temples and basilicas, amphitheaters and markets, each one a unique and fascinating part of the city's rich tapestry. The buildings seem to come alive in his dreams, their stones and columns glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Marcus feels as though he is floating through the city, taking in the sights and sounds of the different buildings and spaces. He is filled with a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he is a part of this vibrant and thriving community. The city's architecture is a testament to the skill and craftsmanship of the Roman builders, and Marcus is grateful to have had the opportunity to experience it firsthand. As he sleeps, he is surrounded by the gentle sounds of the city, the distant rumble of the fountain, and the soft murmur of the wind through the trees. The atmosphere is peaceful and serene, and Marcus feels a sense of calm and tranquility wash over him as he drifts deeper into sleep. The city's buildings seem to be a part of him, their stones and columns infused with a sense of warmth and familiarity. Marcus is at home in the city, and he knows that he will always be drawn to its beauty and complexity. As the night wears on, Marcus's sleep becomes more and more restful, his dreams filled with visions of the city's architecture. He sees the temples and basilicas, the amphitheaters and markets, each one a unique and fascinating part of the city's rich tapestry. The buildings seem to come alive in his dreams, their stones and columns glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Marcus feels as though he is floating through the city, taking in the sights and sounds of the different buildings and spaces. He is filled with a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he is a part of this vibrant and thriving community. The city's architecture is a testament to the skill and craftsmanship of the Roman builders, and Marcus is grateful to have had the opportunity to experience it firsthand. Marcus walks through the city, taking in the sights and sounds of the different buildings and spaces, and he can't help but notice the grandeur of the amphitheaters that seem to rise up from the earth itself. The Romans built many of these structures, and each one is a testament to their engineering prowess and their love of entertainment. As he walks, the sound of his footsteps echoes off the stone walls, and he feels a sense of awe at the sheer scale of these buildings. He thinks about the countless people who must have gathered in these spaces to watch gladiatorial contests, animal hunts, and even reenactments of famous battles. The air is filled with the sweet scent of freshly cut stone, and the warm sun casts long shadows across the ground. As he approaches one of the larger amphitheaters, Marcus notices the intricate carvings that adorn the walls. The carvings depict scenes of everyday life, from farmers tending to their crops to merchants selling their wares in the marketplace. He runs his hand over the cool stone, feeling the texture of the carvings and marveling at the level of detail that the Roman craftsmen were able to achieve. The carvings seem to come alive in the fading light, and Marcus feels as though he is stepping into a different time, one where the rhythms of daily life were slower and more deliberate. Marcus makes his way inside the amphitheater, his footsteps echoing off the walls as he climbs up to the upper levels. From this vantage point, he can see the entire city spread out before him, a tapestry of rooftops and buildings that seem to stretch on forever. He notices the way that the light catches the curves of the arches and the vaults, casting a warm glow over the entire scene. The sound of the wind rustling through the trees and the distant clang of hammers on metal create a soothing background noise, and Marcus feels his worries and cares slowly drifting away. As he looks out over the city, Marcus thinks about the famous Colosseum, that iconic symbol of Roman engineering and architectural prowess. He wonders what it must have been like to attend a spectacle there, surrounded by tens of thousands of people, all cheering and chanting as the events unfold. The thought sends a shiver down his spine, and he feels a sense of connection to the people who came before him, who built these incredible structures and filled them with life and energy. The sun begins to set, casting a warm orange glow over the city. Marcus finds a comfortable spot to sit and watch the stars come out, feeling the peacefulness of the evening wash over him. He thinks about the Roman builders who worked tirelessly to create these incredible structures, and the people who lived and worked in the city, going about their daily lives. The sound of crickets and the distant howl of a wolf create a sense of tranquility, and Marcus feels his eyelids growing heavy as the world slows down around him. As the night wears on, Marcus's thoughts turn to the development of Roman architecture and how it reflects the values and priorities of the people who built it. He thinks about the use of arches, vaults, and domes, and how these structures were used to create a sense of grandeur and spectacle. The stars twinkle above, and the world is filled with a soft, gentle light, and Marcus feels his heart fill with a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty and complexity of the world around him. The city is quiet now, the only sound the distant hum of insects and the occasional hoot of an owl. Marcus feels a sense of peace settle over him, a sense of connection to the people and the place. He thinks about the way that the Romans used architecture to create a sense of community and shared experience, and how these structures continue to inspire and awe people to this day. The world is a vast and wondrous place, full of mystery and surprise, and Marcus feels grateful to have had the opportunity to experience it, even if only for a brief moment. As the night deepens, Marcus's thoughts grow slower and more introspective. He thinks about the passage of time and how the city has changed over the centuries. He wonders what the future holds and how the buildings and structures that he has seen will be remembered and used by future generations. The stars shine down, and the world is filled with a soft, gentle light, and Marcus feels his heart fill with a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty and complexity of the world around him. The darkness is almost palpable now, a soft, velvety blanket that wraps around Marcus and holds him close. He feels his eyelids growing heavy, his breath slowing, and his body relaxing. The world is a peaceful, serene place, and Marcus is grateful to be a part of it, even if only for a brief moment. As he drifts off to sleep, he feels a sense of connection to the people and the place, a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty and complexity of the world around him, and a sense of peace that settles deep within his soul. It's a warm summer morning in the year 100 AD, and Marcus is standing on the outskirts of Rome, looking out at the vast network of aqueducts that stretch towards the city. He's a young engineer, responsible for maintaining the water supply systems that bring fresh water from the surrounding hills to the bustling streets of Rome. As he walks along the aqueduct, he notices the sound of gently flowing water, the warm sun on his skin, and the smell of freshly cut stone. The air is filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the distant sound of hammering on metal, a reminder of the constant work that goes into keeping the city's water supply running smoothly. Marcus has always been fascinated by the way the Romans have managed to bring water from so far away to the heart of the city. He's seen the way the aqueducts wind their way through the countryside, carrying water from springs and rivers to the cities and towns that need it. As he walks, he notices the way the light reflects off the water, creating a shimmering effect that seems to dance along the length of the aqueduct. He's heard stories of how the Romans built over 1,000 of these aqueducts, a feat that seems almost impossible given the technology of the time. As Marcus continues on his way, he comes across a group of workers who are busy repairing a section of the aqueduct. They're using a combination of stone, brick, and concrete to build a new arch, one that will help to carry the water across a small valley. Marcus watches as they work, fascinated by the way they are able to construct such a complex system using only the tools and materials available to them. He notices the way the workers move with a sense of purpose, their movements economical and precise as they work together to complete the task at hand. The workers are a diverse group, made up of people from all over the Roman Empire. There's Marcus, the young engineer, who is responsible for overseeing the construction of the aqueduct. There's also Lucius, a skilled stone mason, who is responsible for building the arches that carry the water across valleys and rivers. And then there's Gaius, a laborer who is responsible for hauling the heavy stones into place. As Marcus watches, he notices the way the workers interact with each other, their banter and laughter filling the air as they work together to complete the task at hand. As the day wears on, Marcus continues on his way, following the aqueduct as it winds its way through the countryside. He notices the way the landscape changes, from the rolling hills of the countryside to the bustling streets of the city. He sees the way the aqueduct is used, not just to supply water to the city, but also to power mills and other machinery. He notices the way the water is used, not just for drinking and cooking, but also for washing and cleaning. And he begins to realize just how important the aqueducts are to the daily life of the city, and how much they contribute to the health and well-being of the people who live there. As Marcus walks, he starts to think about the history of the aqueducts and how they were built. He's heard stories of how the Romans developed a system of aqueducts to supply water to cities and towns, and how they built over 1,000 of these structures throughout the empire. He wonders how they were able to construct such complex systems using only the tools and materials available to them. And he begins to realize just how much of an impact the aqueducts have had on the daily life of the city, and how much they contribute to the health and well-being of the people who live there. As the sun begins to set, Marcus finds himself at the edge of the city, looking out over the sprawling metropolis. He can see the way the aqueducts wind their way through the streets, carrying water to the fountains and public baths that are scattered throughout the city. He notices the way the light reflects off the water, creating a shimmering effect that seems to dance along the length of the aqueduct. And he begins to realize just how much the aqueducts have contributed to the growth and development of the city, and how much they will continue to play a vital role in the daily life of the people who live there. As the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, Marcus makes his way back to his home, tired but content after a long day of work. He knows that he's played a small part in keeping the city's water supply running smoothly, and he feels a sense of pride and satisfaction in the work that he's done. As he drifts off to sleep, he can't help but wonder what the future holds for the city, and how the aqueducts will continue to play a vital role in the daily life of the people who live there. The sound of gently flowing water is still in his ears, a soothing melody that seems to lull him into a deep and restful sleep. The next morning, Marcus wakes up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle another day of work. He knows that there's still much to be done to keep the city's water supply running smoothly, and he's eager to get started. As he makes his way to the aqueduct, he notices the way the light reflects off the water, creating a shimmering effect that seems to dance along the length of the aqueduct. He notices the way the workers are already busy at work, repairing and maintaining the aqueducts that carry water to the city. And he begins to realize just how much of an impact the aqueducts have had on the daily life of the city, and how much they will continue to play a vital role in the years to come. As Marcus walks along the aqueduct, he starts to think about the people who built it, and how they were able to construct such a complex system using only the tools and materials available to them. He wonders what kind of challenges they faced, and how they were able to overcome them. And he begins to realize just how much of an achievement the aqueducts are, and how much they have contributed to the growth and development of the city. The sun is shining, and the air is filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. The sound of gently flowing water is soothing, and the workers are busy at work, repairing and maintaining the aqueducts that carry water to the city. Marcus feels a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he's playing a small part in keeping the city's water supply running smoothly. And as he walks along the aqueduct, he can't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the ingenuity and skill of the people who built it. As the day wears on, Marcus continues to work on the aqueduct, making sure that it's in good condition and that the water is flowing smoothly. He notices the way the light reflects off the water, creating a shimmering effect that seems to dance along the length of the aqueduct. He notices the way the workers are working together, their movements economical and precise as they repair and maintain the aqueduct. And he begins to realize just how much of an impact the aqueducts have had on the daily life of the city, and how much they will continue to play a vital role in the years to come. The sun is beginning to set, casting a warm glow over the city. The sound of gently flowing water is soothing, and the workers are finishing up their work for the day. Marcus feels a sense of satisfaction and contentment, knowing that he's played a small part in keeping the city's water supply running smoothly. And as he walks back to his home, he can't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the ingenuity and skill of the people who built the aqueducts. As the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, Marcus makes his way through the quiet streets, the sound of his sandals echoing off the stone buildings. He lives in a small apartment near the city center, and as he walks, he notices the way the moonlight casts a silver glow over the rooftops. The air is cool and crisp, carrying the scent of fresh water from the nearby fountain, and Marcus feels a sense of peace wash over him. He thinks about the aqueducts and how they bring water from far away to supply the city's needs. It's a remarkable feat of engineering, and Marcus wonders how the Romans managed to build such a complex system. As he approaches his apartment, Marcus sees his wife, Julia, waiting for him in the doorway. She's a kind and gentle soul, with a warm smile and a quick wit. She asks Marcus about his day, and he tells her about the work he did on the aqueducts. Julia listens intently, her eyes sparkling with interest, and Marcus can tell she's proud of him. They talk for a while, standing in the doorway, and then Julia invites Marcus to come inside and rest his feet. The apartment is small, but it's cozy and warm, with a fire burning in the hearth. Marcus sits down on a stool, and Julia brings him a cup of wine and a plate of bread and olives. As they eat and drink, Marcus starts to think about the history of the aqueducts. He's heard stories about how they were built, about the engineers and laborers who worked tirelessly to bring water to the city. He wonders what it must have been like to live in a time when the aqueducts were still being constructed. Did people realize how important they would become, how crucial they would be to the city's survival? Marcus asks Julia if she knows anything about the history of the aqueducts, and she tells him that her father used to work on the maintenance crew. He would often tell her stories about the different parts of the system and how they were built to last. Julia gets up and rummages through a chest in the corner of the room, pulling out a small, leather-bound book. She hands it to Marcus, and he opens it, blowing off the dust. The pages are yellowed and cracked, but the writing is still clear. It's a diary, written by one of the engineers who worked on the aqueducts. As Marcus starts to read, he becomes absorbed in the story of how the aqueducts were built. The engineer writes about the challenges they faced, about the difficulties of constructing a system that would bring water from far away to the city. He writes about the materials they used, about the techniques they developed, and about the people who worked on the project. As Marcus reads, he starts to feel a sense of awe and wonder at the ingenuity and skill of the people who built the aqueducts. He realizes that the system is even more complex and impressive than he had imagined. The engineer writes about the different parts of the system, about the aqueducts themselves, and about the sewers and fountains that are connected to them. Marcus learns about the way the water flows through the system, about the way it's distributed to the different parts of the city. He reads about the way the Romans built the aqueducts to last, using stone and concrete to construct a system that would stand the test of time. As the night wears on, Marcus becomes more and more engrossed in the diary. He reads about the people who worked on the aqueducts, about their struggles and triumphs. He reads about the way the system was designed, about the way it was built to supply the city's needs. The engineer writes about the way the aqueducts brought water to the city, about the way it changed the lives of the people who lived there. Marcus starts to feel a sense of connection to the people who built the aqueducts, to the engineers and laborers who worked tirelessly to bring water to the city. He realizes that the aqueducts are more than just a system of pipes and canals. They're a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the people who built them. As the fire burns down to embers, Marcus closes the diary and sets it aside. He looks over at Julia, who's watching him with a warm smile. He can tell she's happy to see him so interested in the history of the aqueducts. They sit in silence for a while, listening to the sound of the wind outside. The city is quiet, the only sound the distant rumble of the aqueducts as they bring water to the city. Marcus feels a sense of peace wash over him, a sense of connection to the people who built the aqueducts. He knows that he's a part of something bigger than himself, something that will last long after he's gone. The night wears on, and Marcus starts to feel his eyelids growing heavy. He looks over at Julia, who's already drifted off to sleep. He smiles, feeling a sense of contentment wash over him. He knows that he's exactly where he's meant to be, surrounded by the people and the things he loves. The aqueducts are a reminder of the ingenuity and skill of the people who built them, a testament to the power of human creativity and perseverance. As Marcus drifts off to sleep, he feels a sense of awe and wonder at the world around him, a sense of connection to the people and the things that make life worth living. The sound of the wind outside grows fainter, and the room becomes quieter. The embers of the fire die out, and the darkness is complete. But even in the darkness, Marcus can feel the presence of the aqueducts, a reminder of the people who built them and the city they supply. The aqueducts are a part of the city's fabric, a part of its history and its identity. And as Marcus sleeps, he knows that he's a part of that history, a part of the story of the aqueducts and the people who built them. The hours pass and the night wears on. The city is quiet, the only sound the distant rumble of the aqueducts. The stars twinkle in the sky, and the moon casts a silver glow over the rooftops. The world is at peace, and Marcus is a part of it. He's a part of the city, a part of the aqueducts, and a part of the story that will be told for generations to come. And as he sleeps, he knows that he's exactly where he's meant to be, surrounded by the people and the things he loves. The aqueducts are a reminder of the power of human creativity and perseverance, a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the people who built them. And as Marcus drifts off into the darkness, he feels a sense of awe and wonder at the world around him, a sense of connection to the people and the things that make life worth living. Marcus's thoughts were still with the aqueducts as he walked through the streets of Rome, noticing the way the water flowed from the fountains and public baths, and how it was carried away by the sewers that crisscrossed the city. The Romans had developed a remarkable system of waste removal, one that was far ahead of its time, and it was a testament to their engineering skills that it had been able to support the growth of such a large and populous city. As he walked, Marcus thought about the people who had built these systems, the laborers and engineers who had worked tirelessly to bring water to the city and remove its waste, and he felt a sense of gratitude for their ingenuity and hard work. The sewers, in particular, were a remarkable achievement, considering the technology available at the time. They were built using stone and concrete, with arches and vaults that allowed them to span large distances and carry huge amounts of water and waste. Some of the sewers were even big enough for a person to walk through, and they were built with a slight gradient to allow the waste to flow downhill, using gravity to carry it away from the city. Marcus had heard that some of the sewers were still in use today, a testament to the durability and effectiveness of the Roman engineering. As he continued his walk, Marcus came across a group of workers who were repairing a section of the sewer system. They were using traditional methods and materials, trying to preserve the original construction as much as possible, and Marcus watched with interest as they worked. He noticed the way they used wooden scaffolding and rope pulleys to lift heavy stones into place, and the way they mixed concrete by hand, using a combination of lime, water, and volcanic ash. It was a slow and laborious process, but the end result was well worth it, as the repaired sewer would continue to serve the city for generations to come. The workers were a diverse group, made up of locals and immigrants, all working together to keep the city's infrastructure in good condition. Marcus struck up a conversation with one of them, a man named Lucius, who had been working on the sewers for over 20 years. Lucius told Marcus about the different challenges they faced, from coping with heavy rainfall to dealing with the constant wear and tear on the system. He also talked about the sense of pride he felt, knowing that his work was helping to keep the city clean and healthy, and that he was part of a long tradition of skilled craftsmen who had built and maintained the Roman water supply systems. As Marcus continued his conversation with Lucius, he began to realize just how important the sewers were to the city's overall health and well-being. Without them, the streets would be filled with waste and disease, and the city would be a very different place. The Romans had understood this and had built their sewer systems with the same care and attention to detail that they had used to build their aqueducts and fountains. It was a remarkable achievement, one that had allowed the city to grow and thrive, and one that continued to serve the people of Rome to this day. As the sun began to set, Marcus said goodbye to Lucius and continued his walk, lost in thought. He thought about the people who had built the sewers and the people who maintained them, and he felt a sense of gratitude for their hard work and dedication. He thought about the way the sewers had helped to shape the city and the way they continued to serve it, even after all these years. And he thought about the importance of preserving this kind of knowledge and expertise so that future generations could continue to build and maintain their own infrastructure, using the same skills and techniques that had been developed by the Romans. The city was quiet now, the streets empty and still, and Marcus felt a sense of peace wash over him. He had learned a great deal about the Roman water supply systems, and he had gained a new appreciation for the people who had built and maintained them. He thought about the way the aqueducts and sewers had worked together, bringing water to the city and removing its waste, and he felt a sense of awe at the complexity and sophistication of the system. And as he walked, the stars beginning to twinkle in the night sky, Marcus felt his thoughts slow and his mind grow quiet, his heart filled with a sense of wonder and gratitude for the world around him. It's a chilly winter morning in the year 100 AD, and Marcus is standing outside his family's small stone house in the Roman province of Gaul, watching as the sun rises over the rolling hills. He's a young engineer, responsible for overseeing the construction of a new road that will connect their town to the nearby city of Lugdunum. As he breathes in the crisp air, he can smell the damp earth and the smoke from the fires that have been burning all night to keep the workers warm. The sound of pickaxes striking stone and the murmur of conversation among the laborers fill the air, a gentle hum of activity that will continue throughout the day. Marcus's father, a veteran road builder, had taught him everything he knows, from how to survey the land to how to mix the perfect blend of cement and aggregate for the road surface. As he walks along the partially completed road, he notices the way the light reflects off the carefully laid stones, and he feels a sense of pride knowing that this road will be used by merchants, travelers, and soldiers for generations to come. The Romans have always been master builders, and their roads are renowned for their durability and straightness, stretching across the empire like a vast network of arteries. As Marcus inspects the road, he thinks about the vast expanse of the Roman Empire and how roads like this one are the lifeblood that keeps it connected. He's heard stories of the thousands of miles of roads that crisscross the empire, from the dusty trails of Egypt to the paved highways of Italy. The Romans have built over 250,000 miles of roads, an astonishing feat that has enabled them to maintain control over their vast territories and facilitate trade and commerce. Marcus wonders how many people will use this road and where they will come from as he watches the workers laying down the next layer of stones. The sound of horse hooves echoes through the air, and Marcus turns to see a group of Roman cavalrymen riding towards them. They are dressed in their distinctive armor, and their horses are laden with supplies and equipment. As they approach, Marcus can see the weariness in their eyes, and he knows that they must have been riding for days. The cavalrymen dismount, and one of them approaches Marcus, asking for directions to the nearest town. Marcus explains that the road they are building will eventually connect to the main highway that leads to Lugdunum, but for now, they'll have to follow a winding trail that will take them through the hills. As the cavalrymen prepare to leave, Marcus can't help but think about the importance of roads in the Roman Empire. He's heard stories of how the Romans have used their roads to conquer new territories, to transport goods and supplies, and to maintain control over their vast empire. He wonders what other projects are underway and how they will change the face of the empire. The sound of the cavalrymen riding away fades into the distance, leaving Marcus to his thoughts as he watches the workers continue their labor, slowly but surely building a road that will last for centuries. The sun is now high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the landscape. Marcus takes a moment to appreciate the beauty of the surrounding countryside, the rolling hills and the forests that stretch as far as the eye can see. He knows that the road they are building will not only connect their town to the nearby city, but also provide a vital link to the rest of the empire. As he walks back to his family's house, he can't help but feel a sense of pride and purpose, knowing that he's playing a small part in the grand project of building the Roman Empire's transportation network. As he enters the house, Marcus is greeted by the warm smell of freshly baked bread and the sound of his mother's voice calling out to him from the kitchen. He takes a moment to wash his hands and face, and then joins his family for a simple but nourishing meal of bread, olives, and cheese. The conversation is lively, with his father regaling them with stories of his own experiences as a road builder, and Marcus sharing his own thoughts and observations about the project they are working on. As they finish their meal, Marcus's father pulls out a large map of the empire, spread out on a wooden table. He points to the various roads and highways that crisscross the map, explaining how they are all connected and how they facilitate trade and commerce. Marcus listens intently, fascinated by the complexity and scope of the Roman transportation network. He asks questions, and his father answers, providing insight into the engineering and logistics that go into building and maintaining these roads. The afternoon sun begins to wane, casting a warm orange glow over the landscape. Marcus's father puts away the map, and they all take a moment to relax, enjoying the peacefulness of the evening. Marcus can hear the sound of birds singing in the distance and the gentle rustle of the wind through the trees. He feels a sense of contentment, knowing that he's part of a long tradition of road builders and that the work they are doing will have a lasting impact on the empire. As the stars begin to twinkle in the night sky, Marcus takes a walk outside, breathing in the cool evening air. He looks up at the stars, feeling a sense of wonder and awe at the vastness of the universe. He thinks about the roads that stretch across the empire and the people who use them, and he feels a sense of connection to all of them. The sound of crickets provides a soothing background hum, and Marcus feels his eyelids growing heavy, his mind slowly drifting off into the night. The darkness is almost palpable, a soft blanket that wraps around the world. Marcus's thoughts grow slower, his breathing deeper as he stands there, lost in the vastness of the night. The stars shine down on him, a twinkling canopy of light, and he feels a sense of peace, a sense of belonging to something much larger than himself. The world is a vast and wondrous place, full of mysteries and wonders, and Marcus feels grateful to be a part of it, to be playing a small role in the grand story of the Roman Empire. As he stands there, the darkness slowly envelops him, and he feels himself drifting off into the night, carried away on a tide of sleep. Marcus's thoughts are still with the vast expanse of the Roman Empire as he drifts off to sleep. The darkness outside his window, a reminder of the many roads that stretch out into the unknown, roads that have been built to last, with some still in use today, a testament to the ingenuity and skill of the Roman engineers who constructed them. He thinks about the way these roads have connected the empire, facilitating trade and commerce, and allowing people to travel easily from one place to another. And as he thinks about it, he imagines himself standing on one of these roads, feeling the rough stone beneath his feet, and hearing the sound of carts and horses making their way along the route. The air is cool and crisp, with a hint of dust and dirt, and Marcus can smell the scent of freshly cut stone, a reminder of the constant construction and improvement of the roads. As he stands there, he notices the way the road stretches out before him, a long, straight line that disappears into the distance, and he wonders where it might lead, what cities and towns it might connect, and what kind of people he might meet along the way. As he walks along the road, Marcus notices the way it's built, with a cambered surface to allow water to drain off, and a layer of small stones and gravel to provide traction. And he thinks about the way this design has been used throughout the empire, with roads like this one connecting Rome to its provinces and facilitating the movement of goods and people. He imagines the sound of hammers ringing out as the roads are built, the smell of freshly cut stone, and the sight of workers laboring in the sun, and he wonders about the people who built these roads, what their lives were like, and what kind of challenges they faced as they worked to connect the empire. The sun beats down on him, warming his skin, and Marcus feels a sense of comfort and security, knowing that he's part of a larger community, connected by these roads to people and places all across the empire. As he continues on his journey, Marcus comes across a bridge, its stone arches spanning a narrow river, and he's struck by the beauty and elegance of the design, the way the arches curve and swoop, providing a sense of strength and stability, and he thinks about the way this bridge has been built to last, with a sturdy foundation and a careful attention to detail, and he wonders about the people who built it, what kind of skills and knowledge they had, and what kind of challenges they faced as they worked to span the river. The sound of the water rushing beneath the bridge is soothing, and Marcus feels a sense of peace wash over him as he stands there, taking in the beauty of the structure, and he thinks about the way this bridge has connected the two sides of the river, facilitating trade and commerce, and allowing people to travel easily from one place to another. As he stands on the bridge, Marcus looks out at the surrounding countryside, and he sees the way the roads and bridges have shaped the landscape, facilitating the growth of towns and cities, and allowing people to live and work in the area, and he thinks about the way this has affected the people who live here, what kind of lives they lead, and what kind of opportunities they have, and he wonders about the way the roads and bridges have connected them to the wider world, what kind of goods and ideas they've brought, and what kind of impact they've had on the local culture. The air is filled with the sounds of nature, birds singing and leaves rustling, and Marcus feels a sense of connection to the land, a sense of belonging to this place, and he thinks about the way the roads and bridges have made it possible for people to travel and explore, to discover new places and experience new things. As the sun begins to set, Marcus continues on his journey, the roads and bridges leading him to new and exciting places, and he thinks about the way these structures have connected the empire, facilitating trade and commerce, and allowing people to travel easily from one place to another. And he wonders about the people who built them, what kind of skills and knowledge they had, and what kind of challenges they faced as they worked to connect the empire. And he feels a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the ingenuity and skill of the Roman engineers who constructed these roads and bridges, and for the way they've shaped the world, facilitating the growth of towns and cities, and allowing people to live and work in the area. The stars are beginning to twinkle in the sky, and Marcus feels a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he's part of a larger community, connected by these roads and bridges to people and places all across the empire. And he thinks about the way this sense of connection has been made possible by the Roman transportation systems, and how it has affected the people who live here, and what kind of opportunities it has brought. As he walks, the darkness deepens, and Marcus feels himself becoming more and more relaxed, his thoughts growing slower and more languid, and he thinks about the way the roads and bridges have become a part of the landscape, a familiar and comforting presence, and he wonders about the way they'll continue to shape the world, facilitating the growth of towns and cities, and allowing people to travel and explore. And he feels a sense of excitement and anticipation, knowing that there's still so much to discover, so much to explore, and so much to learn. The sound of his footsteps is the only sound he can hear, and Marcus feels a sense of solitude, a sense of being alone in the world, and yet, at the same time, he feels a sense of connection, a sense of being part of something larger than himself, and he thinks about the way the roads and bridges have made this possible, and how they've connected him to the people and places all across the empire. As the night wears on, Marcus's thoughts grow more and more disjointed, his mind wandering from one thing to another, and he thinks about the way the Roman transportation systems have affected the people who live in the empire, what kind of lives they lead, and what kind of opportunities they have. And he wonders about the way the roads and bridges have connected them to the wider world, what kind of goods and ideas they've brought, and what kind of impact they've had on the local culture. The darkness is almost palpable, and Marcus feels himself becoming one with the night, his thoughts and feelings merging with the shadows, and he thinks about the way the roads and bridges have become a part of the landscape, a familiar and comforting presence, and he wonders about the way they'll continue to shape the world, facilitating the growth of towns and cities, and allowing people to travel and explore. As he stands there, lost in thought, Marcus feels a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he's part of a larger community, connected by the roads and bridges to people and places all across the empire. And he thinks about the way this sense of connection has been made possible by the Roman transportation systems, and how it has affected the people who live here, and what kind of opportunities it has brought. The stars are shining brightly in the sky, and Marcus feels a sense of wonder and awe, knowing that he's part of a vast and complex world, a world that's full of mysteries and wonders, and he thinks about the way the roads and bridges have connected him to this world, and what kind of experiences and opportunities they've brought. The night air is cool and crisp, and Marcus feels a sense of comfort and security, knowing that he's part of a larger community, connected by the roads and bridges to people and places all across the empire. And he thinks about the way this sense of connection has been made possible by the Roman transportation systems, and how it has affected the people who live here, and what kind of opportunities. Marcus stands on the banks of the Tiber River, watching as a group of workers carefully construct a new bridge, its stone arches rising slowly from the water. The sound of chiseling and hammering fills the air, and the smell of freshly cut stone wafts through the morning mist. As he looks out at the bridge, he thinks about the countless other bridges that span rivers and valleys all across the empire, connecting cities and towns and facilitating the flow of people and goods. He remembers the stories his grandfather used to tell him about the early days of Rome, when travel was difficult and dangerous, and how the construction of these bridges has made it possible for people to move freely and easily. The bridge the workers are building is just one part of a much larger system of roads, bridges, and canals that the Romans have developed over the years. Marcus has seen the way that these transportation systems have changed the way people live and work, allowing them to travel long distances quickly and easily, and to transport goods and supplies to even the most remote areas of the empire. He thinks about the way that this has affected the economy, allowing merchants to buy and sell goods more easily, and creating new opportunities for trade and commerce. As he watches the workers, Marcus notices the way that they are using a combination of stone and concrete to build the bridge. The stone provides a strong and durable foundation, while the concrete helps to fill in the gaps and create a smooth surface. He sees the way that the arches are designed to distribute the weight of the bridge evenly, allowing it to span the river without collapsing. The workers are using a technique called the Roman arch, which involves building a series of arches that are connected to each other, creating a strong and stable structure. Marcus thinks about the way that this technique has been used to build bridges all across the empire. He remembers seeing bridges in other cities and towns, each one unique and beautifully constructed. He thinks about the way that these bridges have become a symbol of Roman engineering and architecture, a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the Roman people. He wonders what other innovations the Romans will come up with in the future, and how they will continue to improve their transportation systems. As the day wears on, Marcus decides to take a walk along the river, following the path that runs along the bank. He sees the way that the bridge is changing the landscape, creating a new pathway for people to travel and explore. He thinks about the way that this will affect the local community, creating new opportunities for trade and commerce, and allowing people to connect with each other more easily. He sees the way that the bridge is becoming a part of the fabric of the city, a vital connection between different neighborhoods and districts. As he walks, Marcus notices the way that the river is lined with trees and shrubs, creating a beautiful and tranquil landscape. He sees the way that the light reflects off the water, creating a sense of peace and calm. He thinks about the way that this landscape has been shaped by the Roman transportation systems and how it will continue to evolve and change over time. He wonders what the future will hold for this city and for the empire as a whole. The sun begins to set, casting a golden glow over the landscape. Marcus finds a spot to sit and watch the stars come out, feeling a sense of peace and contentment wash over him. He thinks about the way that the Roman transportation systems have connected him to the rest of the empire and to the people and places that he loves. He feels a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the engineers and workers who have built these systems, and for the way that they have improved his life and the lives of those around him. As the night wears on, Marcus gets up and begins to make his way back home, feeling a sense of calm and reflection. He thinks about the way that the Roman transportation systems have changed the world and about the impact that they will have on future generations. He wonders what other innovations and discoveries the future will hold and how they will continue to shape and improve the world. And as he drifts off to sleep, he feels a sense of peace and contentment, knowing that he is part of a larger community, connected to people and places all across the empire. It's a quiet morning in Rome, the year 100 AD, and the sun is slowly rising over the bustling city. The air is crisp, with a hint of smoke from the cooking fires that are being lit in the kitchens of the Roman homes. Marcus, a young engineer, is walking through the streets, taking in the sights and sounds of the city. He's on his way to meet with his mentor, a renowned architect named Lucius, to discuss a new project they are working on. As Marcus walks, he notices the intricate network of roads, bridges, and aqueducts that crisscross the city. He's proud to be a part of the team that helps design and build these impressive structures. The Roman Empire is a place of great innovation and technological advancement, and Marcus feels lucky to be living in such an exciting time. He's seen the construction of massive buildings like the Colosseum and the development of complex systems for supplying water to the city's inhabitants. The Romans have a reputation for being skilled engineers, and Marcus is eager to learn as much as he can from his mentor and the other experienced engineers he works with. As he approaches Lucius's office, Marcus can see the older man poring over a set of plans and diagrams. Lucius looks up and smiles as Marcus enters, and the two of them sit down to discuss their project. They are working on a new system for supplying water to a nearby town, and Lucius is explaining the different options they have for building the aqueduct. Marcus listens intently, asking questions and making notes as they talk. One of the things that sets Roman engineering apart is the use of arches, vaults, and domes. These structures allow the Romans to build larger and more complex buildings than would be possible using other methods. Marcus has seen the way that arches can be used to distribute weight evenly, and he's impressed by the way that vaults can be used to create large, open spaces. He's also fascinated by the way that domes can be used to create a sense of grandeur and drama in a building. As they work on their project, Marcus and Lucius are drawing on a long tradition of Roman engineering and architecture. The Romans have been building impressive structures for centuries, from the roads and bridges that connect their cities to the massive buildings like the Pantheon and the Forum Romanum. They've developed a range of techniques and technologies that allow them to build quickly and efficiently, and they're always looking for new ways to improve their methods. One of the key factors that has contributed to the Romans' success as engineers is their ability to adapt and innovate. They've taken ideas and technologies from other cultures and incorporated them into their own building practices. For example, they've adopted the use of concrete, a strong and versatile building material that was first developed by the Greeks. They've also developed new techniques for constructing arches and vaults, which has allowed them to build larger and more complex structures. As the day wears on, Marcus and Lucius take a break to walk through the city and look at some of the other engineering projects that are underway. They see teams of workers building new roads and bridges, and they marvel at the scale and complexity of the structures that are being built. Marcus is struck by the sense of pride and purpose that seems to drive the Roman engineers and architects. They are not just building structures, they are creating a sense of community and civic identity that will last for generations. The Romans' emphasis on engineering and architecture has had a profound impact on the development of their cities. Their buildings and infrastructure are designed to be functional and efficient, but they are also meant to be beautiful and inspiring. The Romans believe that the built environment should reflect the values and aspirations of the people who live there, and they are willing to invest time and resources in creating structures that are truly remarkable. As the sun begins to set, Marcus and Lucius return to their office to continue working on their project. They are making good progress, and Marcus is feeling more confident about their design. He knows that there will be challenges ahead, but he's excited to be a part of the team that's working to build a better future for the people of Rome. The Roman Empire is a place of great opportunity and innovation, and Marcus feels lucky to be living and working in such an exciting time. The development of ancient Roman technology, engineering, and architecture has been a gradual process that has spanned centuries. From the early days of the Roman Republic to the height of the Roman Empire, the Romans have consistently demonstrated a commitment to innovation and progress. They've developed new materials and techniques, and they've applied these advancements to a wide range of fields, from construction and engineering to transportation and communication. As Marcus and Lucius work on their project, they are drawing on a deep well of knowledge and experience that has been built up over generations. They are part of a long tradition of Roman engineers and architects who have worked to create structures that are both functional and beautiful. The Romans' emphasis on engineering and architecture has had a profound impact on the development of their cities. and it continues to inspire wonder and admiration today. The Roman Empire's technological advancements have also had a significant impact on the daily lives of its citizens. The development of complex systems for supplying water, for example, has made it possible for people to live in larger and more densely populated cities. The construction of roads and bridges has facilitated trade and communication, and it has helped to create a sense of connection and community among the people of Rome. As the night wears on, Marcus and Lucius continue to work on their project, refining their design and making sure that everything is just right. They are taking a break from time to time to talk and laugh, and they are enjoying each other's company. The room is quiet and peaceful, and the only sound is the scratching of their pens on the parchment as they work. The Roman Empire's commitment to engineering and architecture is just one aspect of its broader cultural and societal values. The Romans place a high value on education, innovation, and progress, and they're always looking for new ways to improve their lives and their surroundings. They are a curious and ambitious people, and they are driven by a desire to create something that will last for generations. As the evening draws to a close, Marcus and Lucius finish their work and prepare to head home. They are tired but satisfied, knowing that they've made good progress on their project. They say their goodbyes and head out into the night, feeling grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the Roman Empire's vibrant and dynamic society. The city is quiet and still, the only sound being the distant hum of activity from the other parts of the city. Marcus and Lucius walk slowly, taking in the sights and sounds of the city and feeling grateful for the chance to be a part of it all. The Roman Empire's technological advancements have had a lasting impact on the world. The development of concrete, for example, has allowed for the construction of larger and more complex buildings. The use of arches, vaults, and domes has enabled the creation of beautiful and functional structures that have stood the test of time. The Romans' commitment to engineering and architecture has inspired generations of builders and engineers, and it continues to influence the way that we design and construct our buildings today. As Marcus and Lucius walk, they are surrounded by the sights and sounds of the city. They see the impressive buildings and monuments that the Romans have constructed, and they marvel at the scale and complexity of the structures. They are proud to be a part of the team that's working to build a better future for the people of Rome, and they are excited to see what the future holds. The Roman Empire's emphasis on engineering and architecture is just one aspect of its broader cultural and societal values. The Romans place a high value on education, innovation, and progress, and they're always looking for new ways to improve. The Roman Empire's emphasis on engineering and architecture is just one aspect of its broader cultural and societal values. And as we look at the people who are making it all happen, we can see that they are driven by a desire to leave a lasting legacy. Take someone like Marcus, a young engineer who's working on a new aqueduct project. He's not just building a system to bring water to the city, he's trying to create something that will outlast him, something that will make a real difference in people's lives. He's part of a team that's passionate about innovation, and they're always looking for new ways to improve their designs, to make them more efficient, more durable, and more beautiful. As Marcus works on his project, he's drawing on a rich tradition of Roman engineering and architecture, a tradition that's all about pushing the boundaries of what's possible. The Romans have always been fascinated by the way things work, and they've developed a deep understanding of the principles of physics and mathematics that underlie their designs. They've used this knowledge to create some truly remarkable structures, from the Pantheon to the Colosseum, and they've developed a range of innovative technologies, from concrete to the arch, that have allowed them to build on a scale that was previously unimaginable. One of the key factors that's driven the development of Roman technology is the need for reliable infrastructure. As the empire has grown, it's become increasingly important to be able to move people and goods around quickly and efficiently, and to provide them with the basic necessities of life, like water and food. The Romans have responded to this challenge by building an extensive network of roads, bridges, and canals, and by developing a range of new technologies, like the water wheel and the mill, that have allowed them to harness the power of nature and to automate many of the tasks that were previously done by hand. As we look at the way the Romans have developed their technology, it's clear that they've been driven by a desire to solve real-world problems, rather than just to create something new and flashy. They've been willing to invest time and money in research and development, and they've been open to new ideas and new approaches. They've also been willing to learn from others and to adapt technologies that they've encountered in their conquests to their own needs and purposes. This approach has allowed them to create a range of innovative solutions that have had a lasting impact on the development of Western civilization. The Roman approach to technology is perhaps best exemplified by their approach to water supply systems. They've developed a range of innovative technologies, from aqueducts to sewers, that have allowed them to bring clean water to even the most remote parts of the empire, and to remove waste and sewage in a safe and efficient way. They've used these technologies to create a range of beautiful and functional public spaces, from fountains to baths, that have become an integral part of Roman life. And they've done it all with a sense of style and elegance that's hard to match, using materials like marble and stone to create structures that are both durable and beautiful. As we look at the Roman water supply systems, it's clear that they've been designed with a range of different users in mind. They've built public fountains and baths that are available to everyone, regardless of their social status or wealth. They've also built private systems that serve the needs of individual households and businesses. And they've used these systems to create a range of different public spaces, from parks to plazas, that are designed to bring people together and to create a sense of community. The Romans have always been aware of the importance of public spaces, and they've used their technology to create places that are both beautiful and functional. The Roman emphasis on public spaces is just one aspect of their broader approach to urban planning. They've always believed that cities should be designed to be functional and efficient, with wide streets and public buildings that are easy to access. They've used their technology to create a range of different public services, from police forces to fire brigades, that are designed to keep people safe and to maintain order. And they've built a range of different public buildings, from temples to theaters, that are designed to bring people together and to create a sense of community. The Romans have always been aware of the importance of community, and they've used their technology to create places that are designed to foster a sense of belonging and connection. As we look at the Roman approach to urban planning, it's clear that they've been driven by a desire to create cities that are livable and sustainable. They've always been aware of the importance of providing basic necessities like food and water, and they've used their technology to create systems that are designed to meet these needs. They've also been aware of the importance of creating public spaces that are beautiful and functional, and they've used their technology to create places that are designed to bring people together. The Romans have always been driven by a sense of civic responsibility, and they've used their technology to create cities that are designed to serve the needs of all their citizens. The Roman approach to technology has had a lasting impact on the development of Western civilization. They've created a range of innovative solutions that have been adopted and adapted by other cultures, from the use of concrete to the development of modern sewage systems. They've also created a range of beautiful and functional public spaces that have become an integral part of urban life. And they've done it all with a sense of style and elegance that's hard to match, using materials like marble and stone to create structures that are both durable and beautiful. As we look at the Roman legacy, it's clear that they've left a lasting impact on the world, and that their approach to technology continues to inspire and influence us today. As we reflect on the Roman approach to technology, it's clear that they've been driven by a desire to solve real-world problems and to create something of lasting value. They've been willing to invest time and money in research and development, and they've been open to new ideas and new approaches. They've also been willing to learn from others and to adapt technologies that they've encountered in their conquests to their own needs and purposes. This approach has allowed them to create a range of innovative solutions that have had a lasting impact on the development of Western civilization. And as we look to the future, it's clear that the Roman legacy will continue to inspire and influence us as we strive to create a better world for ourselves and for future generations. The story of the Roman Empire is a complex and multifaceted one, full of different characters and plot twists. But at its heart, it's a story about people who are driven by a desire to create something of lasting value and to leave a legacy that will outlast them. It's a story about innovation and progress, about the power of human ingenuity and creativity to shape the world. And it's a story that continues to inspire and influence us today as we strive to build a better future for ourselves and for future generations. As we drift off to sleep, we can remember the Romans and the incredible things they achieved, and we can feel a sense of wonder and awe at the power of human creativity and ingenuity. As we reflect on the accomplishments of the ancient Romans, it's clear that their engineering, architecture, and construction techniques were well ahead of their time. They developed a system of building and creating that was unparalleled in the ancient world, and it's still impressive today. If you were to walk through the ruins of an ancient Roman city, you'd see the remnants of their incredible achievements, the aqueducts that brought fresh water to the people, the roads that connected the empire, and the buildings that stood tall for centuries. The Romans were masters of concrete, using a mixture of lime, water, and volcanic ash to create a strong and durable building material. They also developed the arch, which allowed them to build structures that were both beautiful and functional. And they didn't just stop at buildings, they also built complex systems for supplying water and removing waste, which were essential for the health and well-being of their citizens. As you imagine yourself walking through one of these ancient cities, you might notice the sound of running water, the smell of fresh bread baking in an oven, and the feel of warm sunlight on your skin. The Romans were skilled at creating comfortable and livable spaces, and their cities were designed to be enjoyable places to live. They built public baths, theaters, and markets, which were all important gathering places for the community. And they didn't just focus on the practical aspects of city planning, they also created beautiful public spaces like parks and gardens, where people could relax and enjoy nature. The Romans were truly talented engineers and architects, and their creations continue to inspire wonder and awe in people today. One of the most impressive aspects of Roman engineering was their ability to build complex systems that work together to create a comfortable and healthy environment. For example, their aqueducts were designed to bring fresh water from distant sources to the cities, where it was used for drinking, bathing, and irrigation. They also built sewers and drainage systems to remove waste and prevent the spread of disease. And they didn't just stop at the basics, they also built elaborate systems for heating and cooling their buildings, using a combination of insulation, ventilation, and radiant heating to keep their homes and public spaces comfortable. The Romans were true pioneers in the field of engineering, and their innovations had a lasting impact on the development of Western civilization. As we think about the Romans and their achievements, it's natural to feel a sense of admiration and respect for their ingenuity and creativity. They were a people who were driven to build and create, and they left behind a legacy of incredible structures and systems that continue to inspire us today. And yet, as we reflect on their accomplishments, we are also reminded of the importance of humility and perspective. The Romans were a complex and multifaceted people, and their history is full of both triumphs and tragedies. They were capable of great beauty and great ugliness, often at the same time. And as we look to their example for inspiration, we are reminded of the importance of balancing our own ambitions and desires with a sense of compassion, empathy, and wisdom. As the sun sets on our exploration of ancient Roman technology and engineering, we are left with a sense of wonder and awe at the power of human creativity and ingenuity. The Romans were a people who were driven to build and create, and they left behind a legacy that continues to inspire us today. And as we drift off to sleep, we can remember the Romans and the incredible things they achieved, and we can feel a sense of gratitude for the opportunity to learn from their example. The story of the Romans is a reminder that even the most complex and challenging problems can be solved with determination, creativity, and a willingness to learn and adapt. And as we carry their legacy forward into our own lives, we can strive to build a better future for ourselves and for future generations, using the lessons of the past to guide us toward a brighter tomorrow. As we slowly let go of our waking thoughts and allow ourselves to drift into the peacefulness of sleep, we can hold onto the memory of the Romans and the incredible things they achieved, and we can feel a sense of calm and contentment wash over us.